Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Tigo,
This is John.
and let's hop right into this week's episode of the Level 1 Sidekicks podcast. Honestly, kind of a slow week compared to last week.
Yeah, last week we were overfilling with topics. Now this week we were kind of low.
Yeah, like last week we had so much that like we had to cut stuff out. This week it was just kind of grasping at straws, if you know what I mean.
It's like, let's see what we can find in the web. Hurry up. Come on.
And yeah, it was just not like we knew what we kind of wanted to talk about, but then when we made our episode list, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, I felt like we could have added like a few more stuff, but there just wasn't much to talk about.
Yeah. We're still gonna obviously get the episode going.
It's probably going to be shorter than the other episodes.
I don't think
but-
it'll be that short. With the way
I
that
see.
we have conversation,
Yeah, if we could actually make it long enough, but I don't think it will happen.
no, I think we'll just get sidetracked as we go on. I think from Wednesday it'll be 15 more days until we get our new Coke in, and I'm very excited for when that comes in because I'm just
the
kind of
taste test?
curious.
Yes.
Yeah, that taste test that we're gonna do, it's just gonna be one of those
The
things.
cane sugar actually arrived yesterday.
Yep, saw that. And it was like just one of those things where it's just like I'm just curious to see what is that going to look like, or not look like, but what is that going to taste like? Just like side by side.
Well, I'm just excited about the cane sugar Coke. I had never had it.
Yeah, you have.
No, I haven't.
Have you ever had the Coke in the glass bottle?
Yeah.
Like within the last 2 years? Mexican Coke.
Are you sure?
100%.
Are you sure it's just not regular Coke?
No, the regular Coke comes in the metal bottle.
Oh, so newsflash, you guys! If you have drunk,
Recently.
if you have recently drunk Coke
I
in
don't
a
think
glass,
it's drunk. I think it's
Drink?
drank.
if you have drank, no, it's drunk.
And I think it's drank.
If,
If you've drinked,
drinked,
if you've drank,
it might be drink. If you drinked,
if you've had Mexican,
you
if you've had Coke in a glass bottle in the past, recently,
it's Coke with cane sugar, the original
I think it's
recipe.
drinked.
I know, right? I don't
no,
know.
I think it's drank.
I'll probably have to look it up
No,
later.
okay, so here's a crazy tongue twister. Speaking about how English is weird, I read this and it kind of blew my mind. So, English is one of the hardest languages in the world. So, follow along. The words read and lead rhyme, right? You with me so far? The words red and lead rhyme. You with me so far? The words read and lead don't rhyme, and the words red and lead don't rhyme, but read and red are spelled the exact same way, and lead and lead are spelled the exact same way.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go there. That's what I was thinking. It's like, yeah, he's probably talking about the spelling.
But like, that's confusing.
It is confusing. It's like, why would you have the spelling exactly the same but pronounced 2 different ways?
I don't know.
Uh,
I didn't come up with English. just speak it.
Whatever. Moving along.
Dark Phoenix out Friday. What are your expectations?
Oh, I'm excited about it, including since I'm gonna have a little bit of a Game of Thrones nostalgia going in because Sansa Stark is gonna be in it.
Mo, she's been in these X-Men movies for the longest time.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. The first time I've noticed that she's in it.
First of all, and I have no problem saying this, I haven't seen any of the new
The
X-Men since
the
they've
new
rebranded.
Class, Days of the Future.
Since they got rid of McAvoy and brought in the new kid, or is the new kid McAvoy? Whatever. Since they brought in the new kid, I haven't
since
seen it.
X-Men 3.
I don't know numbers.
Oh, whatever.
Since they brought in the new kid and got rid of the old guy.
The old guy.
Yeah.
So Days of the Future Past, I believe.
Whatever. Yeah, I haven't watched any of them. It just hasn't no. I think I've seen one of them. It just doesn't interest me. If that's if I'm just being honest, it just doesn't grab my attention. It just doesn't.
Well, Dark Phoenix is probably the most exciting story of the X-Men universe. That's why I'm so excited about it.
But didn't we already have Dark Phoenix?
No.
Yeah, we did. Like
Oh
X-Men
yeah,
2.
we had X-Men. It was X-Men 3, I believe. But it was just like a little snippet kind of.
What do
thing.
you mean a little snippet? She goes and kills everybody.
Yeah, but
Like, it's just another one of those things with the X-Men movies that is just like whatever. But I read an article, and I think you'll find this super interesting. It's about Sony. So as we know, I think Fox owns X-Men and Sony owns Spider-Man, right? A lot of people don't know this, but back in 2000 whatever, before the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, the offer from Marvel was for $25 million, they could get the rights to all of the Marvel characters, not just Spider-Man.
Oh no.
And they said, "No, well, good. We'll just pay $7 million for Spider-Man because he's the only superhero from Marvel that people care about." Now, Sony's not wrong in making that statement. Spider-Man is the only superhero that matters in the Marvel universe. Only one, don't at me. But with the recent success, and by recent I mean, the last 10 years
Yeah,
of
the 22 movies that came out.
of Marvel, it's kind of incredible.
It is incredible. So
Like, you missed
you
out on a
you
lot
just
of
go
money.
back there and just think, are you guys idiots? But that's just knowing now.
That's revisionist history, right? Like, at its finest.
Exactly. It's like back then. It's like, yeah, that's a stupid thing. Why would they take Marvel? No one actually cares about comic book characters.
Man, it's just one of those things where, like, again, it's revisionist history,
Yeah,
but
it's just goes to show you how well of a job they did with the 22 movies in the Marvel universe.
and that's my thing too, is like, I think they did such a good job making those movies. And like, my big fear, and I think everybody's big fear, was when Disney took over that the movies were going to go downhill.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of,
Elevated?
I wouldn't say got better, but I think they stayed the course, and I think that's a very hard thing to do when
Yeah,
you
it
go.
remained the quality.
Yeah, they
Quality
stayed the
remained, yeah.
course, especially when you go from a different ownership group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, usually you see a completely change. For example, the Halo.
Yeah, but I think that changed for the better. I think
I-
Halo 5
I
brought
know a
the-
lot of people will disagree with that. The
Well,
original
yeah.
3 with Bungie is where it's at.
No, I don't think so. I think Halo 3 for me felt a little stale.
How so?
Like, it felt like the story was great, but online it was kind of the same thing. Like,
yeah, but
they
back
didn't
then,
innovate.
But back then, the online was just like still developing.
No.
Yeah.
Halo 2 online from Halo 2 to Halo 3,
Halo 2
people
was on Xbox.
bought original Xbox.
Original Xbox, yeah.
But people bought Halo 3 not because of the campaign. You have to remember, you are a small part of the world that plays games for campaign only.
Yeah.
You have to remember
I mainly
that.
play for campaign.
Like, you may not be that person who gets the game for online, but Halo 3 was one of the most popular online multiplayer FPSs. And the only game that could compete with it at the time was Call of Duty. When you look at console
that
gaming-
time, Call of Duty was it like the first one that just
No,
popped
it was
out, or
well, technically the first one that popped out was in like the PlayStation, like the original. It was the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was the one that was, I think, out when Halo dropped, and then we obviously had Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, kind of things like that. And that's where you competed, right? Is Call of Duty had all these games that came out. Halo kind of stayed the course and kind of maintained.
and that's where Call of Duty
Halo-
probably took over, right?
Well, yeah. How many years was it between Halo 3 and Halo 4? You know what I'm saying? It was a long
yeah,
time.
there's like a Reach in between that as well.
Well, yeah, you had Reach. I forgot about Reach, but then let's do that.
And
How
then we
long?
also had ODST.
ODST is not a Halo game. That's a campaign. That might have well have been a DLC. No, I love that campaign, but it might have well have been a DLC. Like, you could have put that in Reach and said,
Are
"What?"
we closer to the table?
Yes. We might as well have. You might have well have said, "Hey, here's $20 and you get ODST." Dude, just move Link. If you just, it's not that. There you go. Move Link, and you can reach nicely.
For those listening to the audio podcast, I'm having a hard time grabbing my glass of water.
But that's why I think, like, from Halo 3 to Halo 4, it took a pretty big leap. Especially, like, with Reach, because then Reach started adding new things.
From
and
Halo 4 and onwards, it started getting better online. I felt like it was more of an online kind
Because
of thing
they
rather
rea-
than campaign. And then I feel like that's why I didn't like as much as the original 3.
But then where do you keep going? 3 ends the series.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
if
3
you
ends the series.
if you're like 3 ends it. Like, that ended that concludes the whole story. If you don't add the Prometheans, like, what do you do?
I think they should just end Master Chief's saga right there and just
Then
start
start a new Halo
Exactly.
with a new.
They did it with Reach.
No, Reach was like
Reach
that's
had
why.
Reach had no Master Chief.
But yeah,
Well,
and
if you don't count the cutscene at the end, but
but it was one of the least liked Halo games.
really, I thought it was so great. I love that ending where you have to like fight all those enemies by yourself.
Again, it was one of the least liked Halo games. I think so. I might be wrong there, but it doesn't matter. Again, this is me coming from Call of Duty, so it's one of those things where me coming from a Call of Duty background. The ones that kind of got me were Reach, and I played Halo 3. I wasn't good at it, but I played Halo 3 and everything like that.
I believe Halo 2 is the best one out of the trilogy. Yeah, Halo 2 is definitely the most popular one.
No, Halo
yeah.
3 was the most popular one. You're never going to say
All
anything that goes
13
around
Halo games rank from worst to best.
You're never going to... Halo 3 was the most popular Halo. You're never going to come up with an excuse to say Halo 2 was the best Halo, but it was not the most popular Halo. There's a difference. Like, in my opinion, Call of Duty 4 was the best Call of Duty, but it was not the most popular Call of Duty. The most popular Call of Duty was probably Black Ops 2.
Halo Reach was number 1. Halo 3 number 2. Halo 2 number 3.
That's what I'm saying. Again, like the list.
And then
after
Halo
that,
Combat Evolution number 4.
Yeah, like after that, it doesn't really matter. I did want to bring this up because we kind of brought it up with the Avengers before, so we got on this Halo rant, and we'll come back to it in a bit.
Yeah.
But Avengers Endgame, $2.713 billion.
Did they
Nope.
they pass? No.
Nope.
How close?
70 billion away. 70. I'm sorry, 70 million away.
70
70 million.
From last week, that's
30
30
million.
million they gained.
Yep.
So at this pace, I don't know. It's looking pretty close.
Dude, I don't know. They've already beat Avatar domestically. The problem is worldwide.
Yeah,
They're
worldwide.
at 69.9% worldwide of the total
and the
viewership.
thing is that Marvel Universe is more of American kind of thing.
I don't think so.
It
Like
is.
worldwide, it's still competing
It's
worldwide.
the same concept of saying anime and manga. It was more centralized in the Asian company. Like
Look,
countries.
where it's more centralized does not
No,
mean
I'm
think
talking-
the
I'm talking-
American population.
The American population is spreading out. Like Marvel is spreading
No,
out.
I think it
worldwide.
overpowers the Japanese market. The American anime market, I think,
No.
in recent years has not money-wise, but in just viewership alone, dude, we have so many more people in this country than Japan does that just by numbers alone, I think we've caught up. Now, that being said, just catching up does not make it mainstream.
No, I'm still with anime. It's like more popular than comics. Manga are more popular than comics. There we go.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was never arguing that.
Then what were you arguing?
No, but you were saying that the MCU isn't popular worldwide. That's what you were
No,
arguing.
I'm talking about like back then, before like the 22 movies hit.
You never mentioned back then. When you said MCU, MCU literally stands for Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes, exactly.
The MCU is one of the most
Honestly,
popular things worldwide.
I lost total track of this conversation. I mean, this
Like,
argument.
look, they've done obviously more overseas than they've done domestically because there's just that much more. But like, they're so close. Avatar is the only movie that's beating it worldwide, and that's by $100 million. That's it. If the rest of the world just steps their ish up and just goes and watches the movie a couple more times, we can beat Avatar.
Yeah, but there are so much movies coming out, like Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix is not a good movie. Don't go watch it.
Godzilla is pretty good.
Don't go watch it. It's a horrible movie.
From what I've heard, it's a great movie. And
Really? I've heard the exact opposite.
Have you?
I've heard the literal exact opposite. What I've heard from people about Godzilla is that if you were to remove all of the human interaction in that movie would be A+. If you just had the monsters and just have the monsters fighting and that story, that's great. But every time a human hops on screen and speaks, it's the worst.
I feel like I just need to go and watch it.
No, absolutely. We do need to go and watch it, but I've only heard bad things about it. Like, aesthetically beautiful. The monster fights are great. The monster fight between Godzilla and the three-headed dragon serpent thing, apparently super compelling, and you want it to happen. You want Godzilla to be the king of monsters. All of this stuff. But every time a human opens their mouth, you're just like, you just don't believe them.
Hmm.
So, again, there's a difference between a movie being visually, aesthetically beautiful and being told well, right?
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
I feel like a lot of times movies nowadays are just getting away with the fact that cameras are so good and CGI is so accessible.
I feel like there's just like missing out like on the central part, like the plot.
Exactly, and that's where
Yeah.
the beef comes in, is the
Yeah.
plot.
Mm.
And so that's what I'm saying. That's what I heard, is that a lot of the beef that people have with it is that
The plot's lacking.
not that the plot is lacking, is that the characters aren't believable. When they try to have these heartfelt moments, apparently you just don't believe them,
So you
and
just
you
don't feel the
care.
emotion from the characters.
Yeah, and it's because of the writing, not because of the actors.
Oh, so you're saying the actors are good?
Well, like these are world-class actors. Like these are people in other movies where you believe them. So either they've all forgotten how to act, or the writers didn't do their job well enough. And I have more faith in the writers doing their job incorrectly than the actors doing their job incorrectly. It's really easy to write a bad script. It's really easy. It's not easy to write a good one. And well, you can argue that with Marvel. They've done it 22 times. Yeah, it's super interesting. Speaking of Marvel, this isn't even on here, but I wanted to talk about this last week. Kevin Feige announced we're getting at least 2 more phases in Marvel. So Phase 4 is going to start right after Spider-Man Far From Home. That's the last movie in Phase 3.
And that's gonna set like the standards for the next phase.
Well, so apparently we have a Nova movie coming in.
Well, no, I think the Nova movie is completely like a fan fiction. I don't think it's confirmed or anything.
No. Like we've seen posters and
No, no.
trailers, and apparently, let me finish. Apparently, Nova was supposed to appear in Endgame. Per reports, Nova was supposed to appear in Endgame. So there's
I'm unsure about that though.
that's what I read. Nova's coming. It makes sense. Like, where is Captain Marvel? The whole idea is they're splitting up the cinematic universe. They're splitting up Earth and space, right? So they're never gonna come back together again. Per Kevin Feige, is we're gonna have a split from space and Earth. So they're gonna be split. So that means Thor's not coming back to Earth because Thor is with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So we know we're getting another Guardians of the Galaxy movie. This will make it the 3rd Guardians of the Galaxy. We have 2, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get a 3rd Guardians of the Galaxy with Thor in that thing. We're also getting another Ant-Man movie. We're also getting a Wasp.
Yeah, you're right.
What is it? Wasp?
Kevin Feige confirmed the Nova movie.
Yeah, I know. Trust me.
I'm
read
sorry,
everything.
but I've got to make sure.
I made sure. I'm not just gonna say things. What's Ant-Man's?
Like I did, right?
What's his girlfriend's costume? What is she? Is it the Wasp? Is it?
Yeah.
Is Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah.
She's getting a standalone movie.
I'm actually excited
We're
about
getting
Wasp more than Ant-Man.
It's an interesting. Apparently, his daughter, Ant-Man's daughter, is supposed to.
Oh yeah.
She's supposed to take a bigger role because they're apparently trying to do the Young Avengers. They're
Yeah, the Young
apparently also
Avengers.
trying to do the Dark Avengers.
And then we're thinking that the young boy from Iron Man at the end of Avengers,
You're thinking it. I've got a whole new theory.
he's gonna be Iron Lad.
I've got a whole new theory.
That's my theory. He's gonna be Iron Lad.
I don't think he becomes
What's-
Iron Lad. I think we get
Yeah,
Robert
because
Downey
Iron
Jr.
Lad
bad.
if they're gonna make Ant-Man's daughter a superhero, that comes part into the Young Avengers. Iron Lad's also part of the Iron Avengers. That's where I'm getting it from.
The Young Avengers. There's no such thing as the Iron Avengers. And
That's it. Did I say
You said Iron Avengers. I don't think he becomes Iron Lad. I think he full blown becomes Iron Man.
Iron Man.
I think Tony comes back.
I think it's way too early.
Let me finish. I think Tony comes back. Because
But,
I don't
but
think
if Tony comes back, then how would he be Iron Man if
Can I
Tony's back?
finish?
No,
I
you
didn't
can't.
finish my statement. Iron Man comes back in Far From Home. He doesn't stay because I think this is the multiverse thing. I don't think he stays.
Do you think he's gonna come back as the same actor, Robert
Well,
Downey Jr.
yeah.
or no?
Well, they're not gonna just recast him. It doesn't
Hey,
matter.
I'm the new Iron Man, but I look exactly the same. No one notices.
I'm
Please.
sorry to everyone who has headphones on. Like, I'm so sorry. Your eardrums literally exploded.
No.
Yes, they did. I literally watched it. Everyone's eardrums exploded. Whatever. It's one of those things where I think he comes back and he anoints that kid as Iron Man moving forward and then dips back to his Earth.
Well, only time will tell.
Because here's my thing is I don't think Young Avengers is in the relative future. That kid's old now. That kid's old enough to be an Avenger. Like, Spider-Man's an Avenger at that point. You get what I'm saying? And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to see his Ant-Man's kid won't be a Young Avenger. I don't know if she gets involved at all, but I think she might. I think who you see become Iron Lad, plot twist, is Iron Man's kid. She's 5 at the time, so you give it a couple.
I'm down for that though.
You give it a couple years because guess who else I think is going to become a superhero? Freaking Hawkeye's kid, his daughter.
Oh yeah, Hawkeye's probably gonna be.
100%. We know that she's training. That he's training somebody.
Yeah.
Like that's been confirmed. We think we already know who the actor is. I don't remember her name. But we're getting that, and so now we're going to split, like, with the split of the universes, I'm super curious as to what the story is going to be. We know we're getting another Doctor Strange movie. We know we're getting another Black Panther movie. We know that we're getting another Captain America movie, but this is going to be, like, Falcon Bucky. We know that all the Disney Plus TV shows are going to be directly related to the MCU.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting as well, guys.
Well, that was predictable, right? Disney's making it, of course.
Yeah, and the same actors are going to be in the...
Yeah, so... so that makes sense. So, again, there's a lot of exciting news because they need to expand both of the teams. They don't need to expand the Earth team, right? But they do need to expand the space team. Because right now, who do we have in space other than Guardians of the Galaxy?
Martian Manhunter from DC.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, there's no one in the Marvel universe that's up there other than him and Captain Marvel. I'm sorry. The Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel are the only people that are up in space. So you've got to start adding people up there, and I think Nova's a great addition. And they're talking about bringing other heroes to go into space as well. So it's interesting to think what's going to happen there because Phase 4 and Phase 5 are going to be
exciting.
I don't know about exciting, but they're the first time we don't have Kevin Feige's announced we're not going to have any new major story arcs like Endgame, right? Like Thanos.
Oh,
Thanos,
so it's not going to be building up to any major arcs.
Yeah, he said from moving on, we're not having any
they're all
new
gonna be
major
standalones.
arcs. No. We're having minor arcs. Like where 4 or 5 movies connect to each other, and 3 or 4 movies connect to each other.
Right now.
But we're not going to have a 22-movie, 10-year-long story that all leads up to Thanos snapping. You know what I'm saying?
Snap.
So it's one of those things where we're going to get away from all of that. So again, it's just interesting to see where that goes and where we're going there. Is there anything in the movie world that we need to talk about? Is there anything interesting?
The only that's coming out that's exciting is probably Dr. Phoenix. Other than
I disagree. It's coming out. It's not exciting. It's coming out. Like I don't think it affects anything. It's an X-Men movie, man.
Well, if you count Swamp Thing as cinematic.
Before we get to Swamp Thing, there's one last thing that I did want to talk about is who I think the new villain is on for the Avengers on Earth, and I think it's Norman Osborn.
From
the Spider-Man. Yep, the Green Goblin. I think they're bringing him as the next kind of major villain because if you watch the Far From Home trailer, the Avengers Tower has been sold. It's no longer owned by Tony or the Stark Industries. It's been sold, and a lot of people have been saying that you know what's missing in New York right now, and it's
Fantastic Four.
Well, that's another thing. We know we're getting another Fantastic Four, but they're in Phase 5, not in Phase 4, per Kevin Feige. But is Norman Osborn because he plays such a big role in Peter's life because he goes and does his internship at Oscorp. So I think it's interesting. We might get Norman introduced. We might get his son introduced as well, which would bring that connection into Oscorp.
Yeah, we've noticed that he's not in the.
Yeah, we had that conversation where his son, I forget his name, Harry Osborn, isn't in the series at all. And he's kind of a big deal. He kind of becomes the Hobgoblin. So we kind of need him. Eventually.
Eventually. It's a good story.
Yeah. So let's
Including
transition.
since he's Peter's best friend, right?
He becomes Peter's best friend. Depending on the storyline, like he kind of technically dates Mary Jane, but like.
Yeah, they're introducing Mary Jane, so that's something.
Well, they've already introduced Mary Jane. She was in the she was in the first.
I was
movie.
paying attention.
Yeah, I know. I hate you. She was technically in the first one. I was upset that it was Mary Jane. I think it should have been the other one. I forget her name. The one that dies in.
Gwen?
Yes, I think it should have been Gwen Stacy, because in order, like, Peter marries Mary Jane in like the comic books, but Gwen Stacy dies, and that's why he's so hesitant with Mary Jane.
I think that's why they didn't want to do Gwen.
Man,
Because they had a horrible reaction towards the
No, they didn't.
the Amazing Spider-Man.
No, they didn't.
People had a horrible reaction towards Gwen dying.
You did. Stop saying people.
I
never loved that movie.
I never watched the Gwen one.
I loved that movie. Like, as a Spider-Man fan.
As a Spider-Man fan.
But
as
what I
people,
read,
as
people
an audience,
liked it.
As audience that are in the comic book universe fans that never watched it, that didn't see it coming. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they loved the twist. I remember reading the reviews. People weren't upset with her dying. People were upset with the quality of the movie. That's different. Quality of the movie wasn't good. The story was great. Just wasn't executed well. Especially with like the electric guy looking blue. Like, it just was a little ridiculous at that point. It just wasn't good on that front. But Swamp Thing dropped. I'm not going to watch it until it's all done. I hate how DC is doing their thing. Like, why are you releasing it weekly?
Why do they release everything weekly? Because they can.
Okay. Like, again, I don't understand. Like, just release the whole thing. You want to keep me happy? Release the whole thing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and wait week to week for a show that isn't even on, like, one of my, oh my God, I need to see these shows list. Like, it's not. It's a show that would be nice to watch, and I would enjoy watching it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it unless I can watch the whole thing. I'm sorry, Netflix ruined the business. You're no longer in a position, unless you're Game of Thrones or unless you're HBO or Disney, stop releasing things weekly.
Disney's probably going to be a weekly release as well.
No, I don't think so.
I think they are.
I don't think so. I think they're going to drop the whole thing because they're not stupid.
No, I think they're going to be weekly.
I disagree because, like, dude, this generation is they want instant gratification. Like, I'm sorry, Netflix has ruined all of us. I'm not going to sit here and wait week to week. It's the same thing that now I might go back and watch Titans because it's been done for a little bit. Now I might go back and watch Doom Patrol because now it's done. But again, I was planning on watching all of that stuff because I thought Swamp Thing was going to drop and I could watch the whole series. And then when I needed a break from Swamp Thing, because sometimes you do need a break, I can go watch Titans or I can go watch the other one. But now that I have to wait, what is it going to be? 8? How many? Do you know how many episodes it is? Is it 8 episodes?
12? 13?
Is it 12 episodes?
Yeah, I think 13.
Whatever, 13. That would make sense. It's a horror movie. 13, unlucky 13. So now I'm going to have to wait 3 months and 1 week to watch it, and I have no problem doing that. And they just won't get my money.
And from my reaction, since you guys didn't watch it, from Swamp Thing, I found it very, very, very interesting. It's like appealing. Like actually, like do you remember?
Doubt.
Do you remember that season of Game of Thrones where it's like extremely dark? You need to watch in a like dimly lit room.
There was never a season that was like that.
Episode.
In the last season.
The battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Battle of Winterfell.
The Battle of Winterfell. Essentially, it's kind the first episode is kind of like that. So I do recommend you watch it in a dimly lit room if you're gonna watch Swamp Thing. And for those that don't want to purchase DC Universe, you know, I'm pretty sure they have a 1 week trial. So just wait until they get like all the episodes dropped and just watch it at once.
Dude, again, like you lose customers that way. I honestly, I'm not gonna sit here and wait week to week to watch your
Exactly.
show.
It's like Amazon does that, Hulu does that. People literally just like wait till the last episode, like a certain series is done, and then just get the free trial.
But it's not about getting the free trial. Like it's not like I understand if you're gonna combat it that way. Oh, you don't want people just getting the free trial. Well, then have compelling content.
Yeah, but it might be that DC still doesn't have enough like content. They're still like making it because production
Dude,
takes a
how
while.
many like
Production takes a while.
production does take a while. Don't talk to me about production. I
Yeah,
know
you should know
production
this.
takes a
They're
while.
one company. You expect
No, they're one producing company.
They're one producing company.
You know how many companies they pay to make those things? If they wanted to, look how many shows Disney is making with their Disney Plus drop. And they didn't start recording till after Endgame. DC has the money. It's not even DC. Warner Brothers has the money. They can pull it off. It's not like they're flush with cash. They have money to spend. So again, like just drop the whole thing. Have compelling content. You have the stories.
Well,
you have the better characters.
I'm not like really like unhappy that it's a weekly thing.
I am like DC has the better set of heroes. Like, don't argue. Like, other than Spider-Man, like, DC has the better heroes. You've got Flash, you've got Batman, you've got Robin, you've got Nightwing. Like, these are way more compelling characters, and their stories are so much better and intertwined with each other. Like, Batman, like, is dark, man. Like, his parents died, and he's terrified of bats, and that's why he became the Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dick Grayson's parents were murdered.
Even Alfred is exciting.
Flash's mom was killed in front of him by his enemy from the future. Like, dude, this is so dark and it's so great, and they have such compelling stories. Even Superman's kind of like, his kind of origin is like, dude, his planet exploded, and his parents to save him said, screw it, we're going to send you here and hope to God you survive. Like,
and weren't they like imprisoned like during the launching of Superman?
No, they launched him and then they died. The planet exploded.
Yeah, the versions changed. Oh well. Anyways.
No, that's the canon right now. Speaking of which,
they had some
comments
changes.
Not for the origin stories. Origin stories tend to stay the same. They
usually add a little bit but yeah.
When was the last time they added to an origin story? Added to an origin story.
Did you know that Bruce Wayne was originally killed with a silver bullet? Now he's killed with a golden bullet?
Never happened.
I made that shit up.
But again, it's one of those things where like they have the better compelling stories. You're telling me you can't come up with content? Like Swamp Thing, they pulled that out of their butt.
Oh, Swamp Thing is fun.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's an interesting. You can't do a Solomon Grundy. That's another good one.
Solomon Grundy. They're making a Harley Quinn, but it's
there's another good one. Harley Quinn. You've got like, dude, you could even do just.
I actually want to see a dark version of like Harley Quinn, like a series.
They've dropped some kind of like posters and things about it to kind of tease it, but that's kind of all we know. Like past that, we don't know much, like information, honestly. It's again, I'm kind of upset with Swamp Thing. I don't want to wait 13 weeks, or now that it's out 12 weeks, and like again, you just lost. I would stay subscribed. I want to keep up with the comics and things like that. But like the main reason I'm going to subscribe is because of the videos. I'm not going to say subscribe for 13 weeks. I get the marketing reason for it. If you release it weekly and if you have a show that's compelling, people will want to watch it. I'm not one of those people. I don't care enough for me to say, hey, I'm going to sit here and wait 13 weeks. Because you're still going to get people like me who are just going to wait.
And you'll get people like me who says, why not?
But I think there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more people like me than there are like you.
Tigo, why not?
Because why would I want to wait?
Oh, you didn't catch a little joke I was throwing in there?
No, I got it. I know exactly what you're doing. Why Tigo, why not? I got it. I'm still upset. Like, you can't distract me. I'm upset. I don't want this to happen.
Come on, put a smile on.
Not with that. Since we're in the DC world, Robert Pattinson confirmed
as Batman,
signed the contract like a couple days ago.
and that's very exciting.
Especially the news that came
I was
out
talking
with it.
about. I was talking to my coworkers, and they seem to not really enjoy the fact that Robert Pattinson, the Twilight actor, is going to be Batman.
Go watch his other movies. That's the problem. Is like you only like
Yeah,
this is
people
the
only
first
think of
Batman.
Twilight.
This is the first Batman that I actually have confidence in.
I was actually excited about Robert Pattinson, and then I was like looking up
IMDb.
his competition.
Yeah. So the thing
Nicholas
is that
Hoult.
the thing is what came out is that they had offered up contracts to two people. It was Robert Pattinson and then Nicholas Hoult. It's Hoult. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I think
Whatever.
It's Hoult.
I think it's Hoult. Whatever it is. They both got offered contracts. They were pending contracts. And then they obviously, in the end, decided to go with Robert Pattinson. I think they made the right choice.
Yeah, I
man.
agree. I prefer Robert Pattinson over Nicholas.
Again, if you watch, I think the look is better on Robert Pattinson, personally. If
Yeah,
you clean him up,
that's what I'm saying. The look.
if you clean him up a little bit, and you just like
Give him like a little rugged beard or something like that.
well, you give him a haircut, clean him up. I don't think he has a rugged beard. Batman's clean shaven.
Yeah. Batman's always clean shaven. But I'm talking about Robert Pattinson.
No,
I think
no,
he
no.
would look nice with a
Let me-
rugged beard, you know.
Here's the look.
I feel like
Have
if he's
him-
clean shaven, you'll think too much of Twilight.
No. He has to be clean shaven. It's Batman. You're not gonna give him a beard. What you do, because that gives it away. What you do is you give him a haircut, and you make him gain like 30 pounds of muscle. Tell him to hit the gym. That's the thing.
Or CGI it.
No, just have him hit the gym. Have him hit the gym. If Chris Levy can do it for Shazam, Robert Pattinson can do it to be Batman.
Yeah.
You have him hit the gym, put on like 30, 40 pounds of muscle, and then you're good. Give him a haircut, and then look, the renderings that we've seen from fans as him as Batman, they don't look bad. It's the first Batman in a long time that I've been excited for. That's including Christian Bale. I did not believe Christian Bale was going to pull that off when that happened when I was a kid. I didn't like the look.
I was just excited about Batman.
Look, I was too. And Christopher Nolan created an incredible Batman universe, but objectively, it's not a good Batman movie. We've had this conversation before. I love those movies as by themselves as like man-bat things, but not as Batman movies. And so, I like it. I like it. I like that they chose him.
For the news that we know about the movie itself, we don't know anything. They haven't. Really
No,
said.
yeah,
They haven't even selected the villains. They said they wanted to make sure this contract is even signed before even considering the villains.
Yeah, they haven't even started development on it. And then I think the contract.
Do you know the length of the contract?
They haven't released the details, but apparently it's pending the acceptance of the first one. So it's kind of like a contract option. He gets a first movie, and if
see how it goes from there.
Yeah, and if it goes from there, he gets like a guaranteed extension of X amount of movies. But I think if they're smart, that's how I would do the contract. I would say, hey, you're gonna be Batman for the next 10 years, assuming that the first Batman is good. If the first Batman is good, welcome to your new life. You are no longer Robert Pattinson. You are Batman. In the same way that Christian Bale is no longer Christian Bale, he is a Batman. So, man, I like it. Honestly, I think it's a good choice. I think if you watch some of his other movies where he's not Twilight and he's not being a super dramatic vampire, it's not bad. I have kind of some faith there in his
Sparkles.
Yeah, in his success. And maybe they'll put some sparkles on the suit so that when he's glistening in the night, it'll like sparkle. It'll be a whole thing. Talked a lot about movies. Kind of talked about it with the games. And I did want to talk about it, but we kind of reverted back.
Yeah, we jumped around a bit.
Kind of jumped around a bit, but the new Call of Duty. You've seen the
Modern
trailer,
Warfare?
right? Modern Warfare.
Yes, I saw the trailer.
I know that you're not a big Call of
big,
Duty
yeah.
person, so this is going to be kind of like a normal podcast where I guess I got to do most of the
just
talking
like a
here.
wall and ball kind of thing.
I want your kind of 2 cents before I go on my rant.
2 cents about what?
About Modern Warfare. You saw the trailer? You've played Call of Duty before.
Honestly, it looks exciting. I'm not really into like the futuristic kind of like concept of Call of Duty,
I agree.
but this one actually looks like modern warfare and stuff like that. It's like everything modern a lot. Kind of like, yeah, I can get behind this.
Man, and that's my thing is, okay. So let me kind of give the listeners who may not know, and you more importantly, the background of Call of Duty,
Yeah.
right? Call of Duty, ever since Call of Duty 4, has been alternate publishers. It's the same producer. It's always Activision, but it's been published by a different company. So Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was published by Infinity Ward.
Infinity War? You mean like Avengers?
Um, so that was the company that did it at the time. And because Call of Duty wants to release a game every year, they have to alternate.
Yeah.
So while
It
one
would be
game
pretty difficult if not. They don't.
exactly. So while one game is in circulation,
The others in
another
production.
game is already in production. So they've done that all of the time because of that. So we had Call of Duty 4. It was by Infinity Ward. Then the other company that had that responsibility was Treyarch. So the game that followed in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, was World at War. Wasn't my favorite. Then it goes alternating, and then you go from World at War to Modern Warfare 2, which was Infinity Ward. Black Ops, which was Treyarch. Modern Warfare 3, which was Infinity Ward. Black Ops 2, which was Treyarch. Call of Duty Ghosts, which was Infinity Ward. And then this is where a wrinkle in the system came up. Games were getting too hard to make.
Yeah,
especially
because
these
the
Call of
graphics are
Duty-
getting better.
Exactly. So they added a third publisher into it. They added like Raven, Sledgehammer, kind of thing. They were, for a lot of you who don't know, Infinity Ward up until Modern Warfare 3 was this one company.
Yeah.
Then a lot of the people from that company were not happy
So
with
they
Activision,
broke up. And
so they
split.
broke up and they left. And they created Respawn, which is the people that make Titanfall. Well, from what I understand, I think some of those people then created Raven or Sledgehammer or whatever. Or was it a different company? I don't remember. And we're back. For people who are listening or watching, nothing changed for you guys. But that light just went out, so we needed to stop and replace the light bulb on it. So hopefully the lighting doesn't look different or too different. But back to what I was saying. So they've been alternating. I don't want to sit here and list all the games, but essentially they've been alternating these three. Here's the problem is, ever since Advanced Warfare, when they introduced the new third one, they went into space. Not into space, but they went advanced, right? With this double jumping, the sliding, and all of this stuff.
The jetpacking and all that stuff.
Exactly. I was about to say what us in the Call of Duty community called jetpacking. And a lot of people, purists like myself, don't like it.
Yeah, like keep it two-dimensional, right?
It's not keep it two-dimensional. I don't care if there's like a vertical
three-dimensional
game.
battle?
Yeah, I don't care if there's a vertical game, but make it like the problem is I feel like they added an element of luck into the game, and the game doesn't need that. I like skill-based games. That's why
Well-
CS:GO is so good.
Well, every game has element of luck, like
Yes,
Hail
but-
Marys from Halo, like where you lob a grenade and like manages to kill someone.
That's
There's always
different.
an element of luck.
That's
you can't
different.
prevent that.
But in Halo, if you're getting shot, you can't just double tap the A button and then be 30 feet in the air and moving so quickly that no one can keep
Well,
up
in
with your
Halo
aim.
5, you kind of can do that.
No, not a double jump like you can in
not
any of
double
the Call
jump.
of Duty.
I never said. I said something like that.
But that's what I'm saying
something
is.
like that. Is
But that's what I'm
different
saying is
from-
you don't add luck there. That's still skill.
It is
And the
skill, yeah.
jetpacking from side to side is not in Halo is not in such a way that it literally gets you out of the frame. It does give
it
you-
depends on where you jetpack. Like if I'm running through a door and I jetpack left, it's gonna completely like.
But that's different. That's just a sidestep.
Exactly.
In reality, but that's not what I'm saying. Jetpacking literally got you out of the field of
I'm
view.
not disagreeing with you.
Then stop bringing things up that
all
aren't
I've been
related.
saying is
There's
is
nothing
a
related.
form.
No, it isn't. John, it's like saying that jumping on the ground from just a standing position is the same as jumping on a trampoline. That's what your comparison is.
They are both jumping, are
They-
they not?
No, they're not.
Yes.
No, one is jumping with an extra
Okay,
added elevation. Shut up. I hate you. But again, you add this jetpack feature, and a lot of people don't like it, and Call of Duty's grown even without it. But I saw a great meme where it was the Thanos like talking, and he was like, "Look at what you've done. You guys think you're great, but in the end, it always comes back to me." Which is the line from Thanos in Endgame, but it showed like Tony and Rogers and everything like kind of laying there, and then It's just Thanos, but it says like boots on the ground because essentially we're going back to boots on the ground. It's not a remake, which a lot of people thought it was because it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It's not a remake, it's a reboot. So they're bringing
reboot?
yes, so
Oh,
they're
that's
bringing
fun.
back old characters that we know and love. So we're getting back Captain Price. He's been in every single Modern Warfare
Yeah,
game.
I was reading the comments on the trailer that I've watched, and it's like, oh, Price
Very
is back. Price
exciting.
is back.
Very exciting.
People are
He's the
excited
guy
about
with
Price.
the cigar.
I don't know. I never played it.
No, you saw the trailer. The guy with the cigar, that's Captain Price. And the thing is Captain Price has been in every Modern Warfare. So in Call of Duty 4, he was your captain. You played as a guy named Soap. In Modern
Soap.
Yep.
Nice.
In Modern Warfare 2, you play as a different character. You play as Roach, and your captain is Soap, and then one of the missions is you go and save Price. He's in a Russian prison, so you go and save Price. In Modern Warfare 3, because you've kind of gone against the US, you're playing like kind of as a rogue militant agent trying to track down this terrorist cell. You're still trying to do good even though you're whatever. Soap dies, and so you play as Price in the end, so it's a real cool callback, and so we get to play as Price again. It's really exciting. I'm just curious because I actually played the stories to see where this goes, but I'm really excited for back to boots on the ground. I might like legitimately take this game seriously and play competitively in it again. I was looking at Scuff controllers because I always played with the Scuff and I love those things.
Scuff. Yeah, I remember playing with Scuff.
Yep, I have. Dude, they're right there, and then the Xbox one I think is in here. No, the Xbox one is in the living room. Doesn't matter. No, actually, it's in here. It's
I
somewhere.
play with a regular controller because I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, because you don't play games that matter. I'm kidding. But again, it's a really interesting concept there that I enjoy thoroughly. And I'm excited to go back to boots on the ground. A lot of the people that I used to play with said, man, we're coming back to Call of Duty. We're going to take this game super seriously. I'm really excited.
And it's a nice thing that they're doing a reboot. Just gets like a new audience in as well. It makes it an easy transition.
Yeah, and it's not. But my thing is like you're going back to your roots. And then the other thing is the company. So Treyarch just came out with World War II. Wait, no, they just came out with what's the current game? Black Ops 4. I'm sorry.
All right.
So the company that's supposed to come out, the one after Modern Warfare, is Sledgehammer and Raven combined. They've been booted from the project. And it's not booted, but basically Activision said, nope, Treyarch's taking over. So now Treyarch is in like a super frenzy because they have to pick up development of this Call of Duty when the game is already in production. Like halfway done. They're already, like, they've got character models, they've got story, and they have to come in and they're taking over because apparently Activision was not happy with the product or whatever it was. And so, it's an interesting, like, can you imagine that? Being halfway through something and then the company that's paying you says, nah, we don't like it. You guys now answer to this company who you're technically competing with.
Yeah, I kind of get it. Like, most of my sentences are kind of interrupted by you.
Well, have more interesting things to say. No, so I gotta bring this up, right? So I think it was your general manager that mentioned it.
Yes.
What's his name?
Chris.
Chris, if you're listening, I totally agree with you. I'm part of the movement as well. Let John Be Heard 2019. Hashtag it in the comment section below. I have a really bad habit of doing that. I'm trying to get better at it. I really am. Like, if you
Yeah,
listen,
I mentioned it like every podcast after.
yeah, and I'm trying to get better at it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get better at speaking like my mind.
It's just, again, I think where that dynamic comes in is like,
We're still developing the chemistry of back and forth.
It's not just the chemistry of back and forth. I think we have a really good back and forth off of camera and the problem, or off of the mic. But
It's
the
just
problem
when the lights
is
go on, it starts getting
you
frustrated.
shrivel up.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, this is natural for me, having the lights on, the camera in front of my face, all of that. Like, I don't feel out of place or uncomfortable at all. But this is your first time doing something like this.
Yeah, and
so
it's extremely hot.
It does get hot. These are really bright lights. That's what they do. But yeah, I agree. Let John Be Heard 2019. Hashtag it. Love you, John. Talk more. Interrupt me more. I interrupt
All right,
you.
I think that's enough. Let's go. Get back to Call of Duty.
No, again, I'm just really excited. I'm already looking at. I'm saving up my pennies to to get my my scuff. I already designed it. I'm getting a whole.
Oh, you're getting an entire design as well.
Well, not a design because like they have custom features on them.
Oh,
So Scuff, not a sponsor. I love their controllers. I hope maybe one day. Hey Scuff,
sponsored, right?
shoot me an email, send me a tweet, put it in the comment section below
They
if
won't.
you're listening. I know you're not, but I love their controllers. It's a great product. But you can change things on it. So for the PlayStation controllers, which is where I would play Call of Duty because that's where the competitive scene is, unless something changes, but I don't think it has. They have what they call the Vantage controller.
Yeah.
So one of the things is, I'm sorry for all you PlayStation 4 diehards out there, but the DualShock is one of the worst controllers on the planet. I hate it.
Yeah, for the Rumble, right?
No, I don't care about the rumble. You can turn that off. It's just the feel of the controller is not comfortable. Personally, I don't like the thumbstick being below the D-pad. Like that's just not natural to me. So what they've done is they've created their own custom controller. It's called the PlayStation 4, the Scuff Vantage PS4, where it looks like
An Xbox.
an
controller.
Xbox controller, and it has the paddles on the back, look kind of like the
Yeah.
Wii thing, but it has two of them on each side. And that's the thing, is they've added the paddles on the back, which is the main reason people buy the Scuffs. But because it's a whole custom controller, you can do custom colors and things with it. And they also have custom thumbsticks. Personally, they're much nicer because they're a little softer. So you have a lot of things that you can control. So they have triggers that you can control, the colors on the triggers, the color on the shell, the color of the thumbsticks. The thumbsticks are interchangeable. So the way that they do that is with a ring. So you can undo the ring and change your thumbsticks out. So there's a lot of customization that goes into it. So I've got my whole red, white, and blue controller that I love. And,
Yeah, as long as the control's in the right color, I'm fine.
but that's my, black and red? They
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
really cool black and red one.
Essentially
I should
black
show
or
you.
red, you know.
I
Those are
should
my
sh-
colors.
I should show you. Well, I like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
shirt, man.
I know,
like
right?
that
Great
shirt.
shirt.
Oh, it's a great shirt.
If you guys are watching the audio version, listening to the audio version, I'm wearing a black and red shirt.
No, but it's not. It's a nice black and red shirt. Go to the YouTube video, subscribe, go listen there. But I like them a lot, so I'm looking at that. I'm looking at maybe upgrading my Astros or kind of putting those aside for competition because I want to go to the events next year. Like Madi will be graduated, so it won't be a super like crunch on money and stuff like that. I'll have a better job hopefully by then because it comes out October 25. I'm really excited. I also want to, man, they need to announce what's coming up with next gen because if they don't tell something at E3, I want to get a PlayStation Pro.
Just for the
Just the upgraded speed on it for the load times and things like that.
yeah,
I don't want to run into
I
any
think
lag.
essentially just getting yourself an external hard drive should be fine for now.
No, just
Just
it's
for-
not
for-
about the external hard drive. It's the processing power that I'm worried about. The PlayStation Pro. I'm not talking about the hard drive speed. I'm talking about the processing power with the new game. You saw that trailer. It looks incredible.
It does.
And so if it's coming out on current gen, which I think it is, because I don't think we're getting a new
Yeah,
console by
I
October.
think every game until the new console drops is gonna be on PS4 with backwards compatibility on the PS5.
But again, I don't know that that's going to happen. So I'm thinking I want to look at maybe getting a PlayStation 4 Pro just to have that extra boosted power. And then I can just give you my PlayStation. It'll work.
No, I'm definitely getting the PS5.
For now, the PlayStation 5 is until
I know exactly what you're
2020.
talking about. I was just joking.
Then don't play any PlayStation games. You haven't played the new God of War.
Oh yeah, talking about PlayStation games. Death Stranding is gonna
Oh
be a
my God.
PS5 exclusive and
Oh my God.
no PC. I was kind of disappointed for that.
Well, that was never going to happen.
There was speculation that it might happen, but
I never believed.
there, since 2015, there was no other news on it being on PC.
Yeah, it was never. I don't think it was ever going to be on PC.
So
Man, the
for
trailer just
those
dropped.
excited about Death Stranding, get to know it's only gonna be on PS5 for now.
Oh my God, that trailer looked
It
insane.
Did you watch the 13-minute trailer?
It was an 8-minute trailer.
8-minute trailer.
Yes.
It looked great.
I still have no idea what's going on in the world.
I have no idea what the storyline is, but they revealed a lot of.
There's a
good
baby
content.
that he connects to, and
There's a baby.
there's a
what
ghost
is that?
being.
That baby is like.
there's
what's up with that
time
baby?
travel, people crying blood. Oh man.
Oh, and then as like when you think the trailer's over, it just continues with the guy coming out from the leg. It's like I control dead or something like that.
Dude, it's this whole thing.
Uh,
I want to see more. Aesthetically beautiful. It's a game right up your alley.
oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it.
Well, of course.
I was so sad that it was like coming out in November. I'm like,
2020.
no, it's this year, no?
No. Dude,
Oh,
if it's
November 2020.
dude, if it's coming out for PlayStation 5, are you saying
No,
that
it's coming out for PS4.
you just said it's a PS5 exclusive?
I'm sorry, it's a PlayStation exclusive. Is what I meant to say.
In that case, yeah, then that makes more sense.
Yeah.
100%. I'm so excited for that game.
I was like, oh my god.
I'm going to play the hours in it. I'm just gonna finish through the story though. I'm not
I'm
gonna
just
be
gonna
like,
grind that story.
no, you're not.
No,
You're
no,
gonna 100% that game. That's the type of game that you're gonna be. There's gonna have some crafting element in there,
Oh.
and you're gonna spend stupid amount of hours to the
From
point that
what I
it's
saw
annoying.
from the trailer, it kind of looks like a Grand Theft Auto combined with Assassin's Creed kind of feel.
I disagree. It's way more Metal Gear meets Horizon Zero Dawn than it is GTA meets Ass Creed.
Yeah, because essentially it's like an open world. You can avoid conflict if you want.
Yeah. Horizon Zero Dawn.
It's like
You just haven't played Horizon Zero
the-
Dawn.
yeah.
It's right up the PlayStation alley of games.
For those that haven't watched, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Dude, I just think it looks great, honestly. Like, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be really interesting. I feel like the game, like, we need to see more. I want to see
we
more.
saw 8 minutes and it's still not enough.
It's not just that it's not enough. Like the only thing I got out of it is that the U.S. is in shambles. There's a terrorist group. You carry a baby on your stomach. There's a backpack that has things that are apparently very important. There's ghosts, and there's something about time travel. And that's about all I know. And none of it makes sense. And the guy from The Walking Dead is in it.
The guy from The Walking Dead said.
And a bunch of other really good actors.
That's a good way to put it.
But like,
Is that who it is?
the main character?
The main character.
Yes, he's from The Walking Dead.
No wonder he looks so familiar.
Norman Reedus. I think it's Norman Reedus. I don't know what his last name is. I know his first name is Norman.
I was just like watching the trailer. I was like, who is this guy? I swear I've seen him before. I'm so bad with faces, guys. If you don't know this, I'm bad with faces and names. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah. I'm really excited. One more gaming thing, and then I got a last topic that I want to talk about. Smash VR.
Yes, recently Smash VR was released.
Horrible.
I feel like it was kind of like a
gimmick.
lead up to E3, the Smash tournament. I think they wanted to do a Smash VR kind of tournament, like where they'll supply you with the VR.
Won't happen. Apparently, it was so bad. Like, people are coming out. I've read articles and articles and articles of people who
Yeah.
are obsessed with Smash saying, this
It was a
horrible.
mistake.
This was a mistake. They should have
shouldn't
never
have
done
been-
it. Like, it doesn't make sense.
For a start, I just think VR for Switch shouldn't even be a thing. Did you see the Lambo kind of kit? It kind of looks like a cardboard box.
Well, it is a cardboard box.
Exactly.
Like, it's not like a good, like, again, man, it's just like, that's not the game you go VR in. Like, what is the VR ad?
No, I feel like the VR is like screen control. I feel like that's what it was all about. Like, you know where it sometimes like zooms out way too much, but with VR you can actually stay controlled on where your character is. But there are elements like where your character just goes flying off screen and you have no idea if you flew left or right. And I feel like that's where VR dropped. It's like, yeah, what are you supposed to do there?
I don't know, man. I think Smash was good enough without that
Yeah.
stuff.
Smash is already a good market.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly, like, not market, but it was a good IP.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't need to, like, add new characters, add new game modes, and add things like that. But I don't
Honestly,
think you
the
need to
only
add a
thing-
new feature like
the only thing I
this.
feel like they should do better with Smash is they gotta try more characters faster.
Yes and no.
I understand why they don't, but I feel like if they when they don't, it just starts getting stale. Like
But I
they
think
they
the
only
game
really
gets stale. I think any game will get stale like that. Like, for example, let me use an example of
Go
a
ahead.
game that for you would get stale, but for me will never get stale, and that's Call of Duty.
Call of
right?
Duty, yeah.
Let's say I get the PlayStation 4 Pro, and I get us both Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And
Which
we
you
both,
probably won't.
I won't. You can get it yourself. You're an adult. And you're a big boy. But you get what I'm saying. And we both go playing online. I can play that game 8, 9, 10 hours straight. Straight. You'll hop off after an hour. Maybe 2. You can't keep up with me in that game. In the same way that I can't keep up with you
On Halo.
No, I can outlast you on Halo. But I can't keep up with you in a game like Smash. Like, you still play Smash.
Yeah.
And I don't. You know what I'm saying? And so you could sit down and we could start right after we finish this podcast and we could go, let's play right now. Let's do it. And just won't happen. I'll play for 30 minutes and then I just can't keep up with your stamina because the game interests you. And I think that the thing is I think if you took Smash a little bit more seriously and started trying to, which you started sort of have been doing, but if you started getting into the more like the advanced tech stuff,
Yeah.
I think your enjoyment of the game,
What, elevate?
yes, because there's
That's
a
like
lot
the third
more.
time I used the word elevate, isn't it?
I have no idea. I have not been keeping up the amount of times you've said elevate. It's not one of the stats that I'm tracking. That's what I should start doing. We should start tracking talk time. Just
Talk time?
between the both of us. Just for us.
All right, guys. This episode, John has spoke for 5 minutes. You has spoke for 55 minutes. What are the odds?
That's a good balance. But you get what I'm saying. And I think that's where I think Smash has to do its thing. Is there are a lot of tech things in Smash that you just don't know.
There are a lot of techniques.
And if you got into it, I think you would see your enjoyment of Smash go up.
If I were to get serious, I would need to buy the GameCube controller that's dedicated for Smash,
Like
which I didn't.
You got a close.
I got
Proximity.
I got like the regular
Is
controller.
that even a word?
Proximity? Yeah.
Proximity. That's not a
No,
word.
that's not a word.
You got a pretty close.
Proximity.
No, proximity is something else. There's another word I'm trying to find. Doesn't matter. You got something that's pretty close, and I think that'll help you get better. And I think the other thing you need to do is I think you need to hook up your
Dock?
your dock here to play on your monitor,
Oh, generally I leave the dock in the car, so like I could like when I
and use my dock,
play in the car,
and use my dock.
you know.
We both have a Switch.
I dock it
You
up to the
do
car.
understand, right? There's an Xbox there. There's an Xbox there. There's a PlayStation here, and there's a Nintendo Switch. I think it's in my cupboard drawer in my suite.
Somewhere.
But I think that's something that I think you would enjoy a lot better. If you could pull up on this monitor, right, like some of your tech things that you're trying to learn, and then on this monitor play it, I think you'll have a lot more enjoyment out of it, especially with the controller, and I think you'll get a lot better. And then you'll finally be able to beat me, which you haven't done once in that game.
Oh, I have beat you many
You've never
times.
beat me.
We'll go
Where's
around out of this.
Where's the proof? Where's the proof? There is no proof.
He can't be my
Don't-
Kirby.
Don't believe him. He's never beaten me once, ever. Except for most of the times when we play, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm just saying you've never beaten me except for the times that we've played that one time, all the times. Last thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is because you kind of just pulled the trigger on this. One of the things that I've been talking about for a long time personally is, so I have the Death Adder, right, the mouse, and I was kind of getting annoyed because I can't
The
found,
cord kept
yeah,
snagging up.
I couldn't find my mouse bungee. So for those of you who don't know, it's like a triangle thing that kind of holds your mouse so that you can pull on it, but the cable doesn't get stuck on anything. It's nice and loose. I couldn't find my bungee, and I was running into problems with my mouse because of that, right? I was having issues.
Maybe this little girl, you know.
And so, but I never went and got a wireless mouse because I never felt that there was a mouse that was a wireless mouse that was good enough.
Yeah, like
I am
most
an
mouse
elitist.
that are wireless are essentially like has latency lag.
And when you're playing FPSs, like you can't have that.
You can't
right?
have that. You have to have like instant.
And so I was having a lot of, I don't want to say like
You were
doubt.
on the
I was,
fence.
Yeah, I wasn't on the fence. I never wanted to commit because I have always been, even when the Xbox 360 had wireless controllers, I always played with a wired one. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, I always play with the controller plugged in. My headset for my computer and my gaming consoles, they're all wired because I never wanted to do the latency. And the thing was, I never kept up with it until we had this conversation. And you found out that Logitech has a whole line of
wireless
products,
gaming
just
products.
gaming products that all have a 1 millisecond response time.
And for those that don't know, 1 millisecond is like the lowest that your monitor could get on refresh rate, right?
Yeah, like it's literally
So
your mouse
essentially,
matches
it's
your
like
monitor.
if your mouse goes like lower than 1 millisecond, it's essentially pointless because your monitor can't keep
No,
up.
like it was a wireless mouse that almost matched the speeds of wired mouses. And so we were looking up and all of this stuff, and we found a couple of these mouses, and I said, okay, right, like I'm not in a position where I can get this now, so I want to get it later. John so kindly decided that, found a sale or something online, bought me one of the mouses, bought him one of the mouses, and just randomly didn't even call his brother to tell him in Maryland, just shipped it to his house in Maryland and just said, hey, so we have the Logitech like the 703s.
703G.
With
G703, yes.
yeah, the G703s, which are wireless gaming mouses that have the light speed on it.
Yeah, and I thought it was like great. Like you customize it completely. It comes in two colors, white and black. We decided to go with white because I was buying.
I love this mouse, man. It's one of those things that, one, I feel like it's the perfect fit in your hand. Again, Logitech not a sponsor yet. I'm really hoping we can get this one done. But that brings up the question, which I'm still super on the fence about, but I'm starting to come to the other side because of the 703. We've had it for a couple days now. I've been using it nonstop. Has wireless finally caught up?
It hasn't caught up, but it's pretty darn close.
Like
It's pretty darn close.
like close enough to where you can justify saying, for gaming, where you can justify saying, I don't need wires anymore.
Have you read any articles about what is it called? The next network coming out after LTE 5G. Have you read anything about the 5G?
I have a little
The
bit,
latencies are almost 1 ms.
but that's what I'm saying. Like,
We
for
are
gaming, I'm not
getting
talking about networking. I'm talking about the gaming. Like, dude,
no.
like this mouse is
I
incredible,
know.
John.
I essentially feel I had this conversation with you before. I essentially feel like the 5G networking on the mobile networks were essentially made for gaming in mind. Like the speeds that it could withstand. Like I just want to go right here. I used to play Destiny, and sometimes my internet, I had like really choppy internet.
For those of
playing
you
at a
watching,
cold
no,
hard.
keep going.
So I had choppy internet, right? So I was like, I can't stand this. So what I did is I used a hotspot from my phone, which was the 4G LTE at the time, to play off my phone, right? So I was essentially playing off a phone rather than a wired connection from my internet, and I was actually getting better performance from my
That's so
choppy internet.
sad.
It is, isn't it?
Because you had Spectrum, didn't you?
I had Spectrum. And that's what like essentially made me decide to switch from Spectrum to AT&T, and I never faced that problem again. But I'm just saying in general, it's like being able to play Destiny like
with zero latency issues
with,
or
like,
ping
no-
issues.
Exactly, it's
We're the-
pretty amazing.
Dude, that's the thing I found out when we moved here, right? I think you've noticed it since you kind of moved in with us, is with the internet that we have, it's no longer about the ping is no longer dictated by your connection to the internet. So I feel like before, when we had Spectrum, I feel like our ping should never go more, especially if the server's in Miami, than like 12, right? Or even New York. I don't think it should ever be more than like 12 to
20.
25,
Yeah.
right? But I used to have an issue where my ping would be upwards in the 60s, the 70s, just because of Spectrum and congestion and things
Yeah.
like that. And since we've moved here, we have like fiber optics, right? We have 1,000 up, 1,000
Fiber
down.
optics. Oh my gosh, I love it.
I feel like I haven't had that issue. I've been playing, so I played Siege for quite a bit today. And man, my pings averaged 12 to 25.
And the only time
And I was playing EU last night. I played on the EU servers last night. And by last night, I mean yesterday mid-afternoon. So it was last night for EU. I was 66 ping.
Not bad at all.
To Europe servers. 66 to 95-ish. Like, that's not horrible.
Yeah, including since it's another continent away.
Dude, there's an ocean.
Exactly.
It's a big one. Not, is it the bigger one? Which one? Which one are we on? We're on the Atlantic, right?
Atlantic,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Pacific is on our left.
So, man, I'm trying to think. So, like, my next thing is I want to upgrade the keyboard. I want to get the keyboard that doesn't have the number pad on it.
Oh, I
just
just
for-
love the number pads.
Well, I have this keyboard. It's not like I'm gonna go throw that away. It's just about getting.
I'm probably gonna inherit it.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, it's
I,
red and
I-
black.
I really don't really care about keyboards, and since it's red and black, you know.
Yeah, if it falls in the thing that exactly of what you're saying. I don't use the number pad too often when I'm gaming in that sense, and my keyboard exists primarily for gaming. I do all of my like business and editing stuff on my laptop anyway. I don't know. I just Logitech finally came out with this product, and it's kind of got me going. And I think the Pro is another one of those things where it can be wired, and I'll probably want the keyboard wired just to kind of charge it constantly.
Yeah, keep it charged. Yeah.
But the mouse, it's got a 24-hour battery life.
And I just keep mine off just for the hell of it.
I don't turn it off. Right now, I'm not using it. It stays plugged in. It goes at 100%. Well, it was plugged in until I unplugged it to show people on camera. And I love it. And it's got me thinking. It's got me second guessing. Especially like your headset. You got
my
the
wireless
HyperX,
head,
right?
yes. No, not the HyperX. Corsair.
Oh, you got the Corsair headset.
570.
Dude, they'd be perfect because it's a Corsair keyboard. Whatever, doesn't matter. And it's red and black, and your computer's red and black. I'm telling you, we gotta get those LEDs and put them in there. Just put some red LEDs up in that thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, my friend.
We'll see about that.
And then you make that light constantly red. It's already constantly red, right?
The power button?
The mouse.
Oh, yeah, the mouse is already constantly red, yes.
Bro, set it up. And then what we'll do is they also sell LEDs that you can put around the monitor. Put red LEDs on the monitor so that the back wall is red. We'll talk later. It's got me thinking a different type of way, and it made me look at I'll never wear a headset unless like we're sponsored and I can't anymore. That's not Astros. I love the Astros. They are the best headsets on the planet. Like, I'll go on record saying that. I have yet to see a headset that's come close to the quality, the customer service, and just the comfort on them. It's got me taking a second look at the A50s. Let me tell you, gotta say, I'm taking a second look at them. Just being honest here. I don't know. Wireless gaming, I think it's catching up. It's interesting.
It's really there. It is.
It's an interesting concept.
And the thing I love about wireless, like gaming stuff, no wires. That's what's so appealing. It's like all that cable management behind your desk.
Bro, that never bothered me. That never bothered me.
It's always bothered me. Like my old set before I moved in, everything was like cable management. Everything was like clipped together with like
Yeah, the zip ties and stuff.
Zip
I
ties.
remember it was a pain to take down.
Yeah, but it was like all organized. I just loved it.
No, but like that's what I'm saying is, but you at that point you ran on a random wireless keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
But like that's what I'm saying is now with an upgraded setup, like you can't just turn your nose away from wireless anymore. You have to take a look at it.
Yeah.
I feel like a big part of the gaming community is kind of like me, where they kind of look at it like, especially gaming purists when you're looking at
most
PC
gaming
gaming.
purists are just like, we need the reliability of the wired
It's like
connection.
the Scuff, bro. The Scuff has an option for you to add wireless on it. I didn't add it, and I won't. I won't.
I understand you
And
want the
it's- and it's-
reliability
And it's
stuff like
it's 1 millisecond. I still won't do it. I won't do it. I'll play it wired.
that. See, I would play wireless, including if I had one MS.
I won't do it.
Does the Xbox controller have one MS?
No.
Yeah.
That's why I play wired.
Yeah, I played wired too.
So that's what I'm saying. So I don't know. It's catching up, man. It's got me thinking a different type of way. Next step for me is probably next upgrade on my
Keyboard.
setup. Nah, keyboard's fine. Like keyboard's way
Oh,
down
you're
on the
gonna need
list.
that second screen though.
Probably. That's probably my next thing is getting a 27-inch. And I know what I'm gonna do. too, and I'll tell you after when we get off because these people can't see that setup. Man, we should do a setup tour when it's done. Guys, we're going to do a setup tour. We're going to show the whole office, the whole thing. It'll be a whole thing.
It's a mess. We won't do that. Take
I
my
don't
word
care.
for it. We won't. We're not gonna do that.
I'm going to do it, even if you're not here. I'm here more than you.
You could do it, but you better clean the room.
I won't. Just throw some stuff out. It's your side that's the mess. You've got stuff all over it. My side's perfectly clean except
Yeah,
for
but
one
you throw
Coke
all
bottle.
your stuff on my side.
That's not what we're arguing. This is your side of the desk. It's horrible. Fix it. But yeah. I got nothing else to talk about. You got anything that you want to bring up last minute?
You said you wanted to talk about Star Wars.
Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Do you know what it is?
No, I.
It is the new amusement park at Disney.
Oh yeah, I was reading something about that.
Yeah, just opened.
People over the age of 14 are not allowed to wear any costumes going in.
You're not allowed to. Just because
I wasn't really why, but it's kind of common sense.
Yeah, it's just because whatever.
Like
but
you'll get confused as an employee.
Yeah,
you're
because
going
they
in a
have
restricted
stormtrooper-
area, kind of stuff like
yeah,
that.
they got stormtroopers, Kylo Ren's, a bunch of people walking around. They just don't want to have any confusion. Dude, it looks really good. Looks really good.
And I was like watching like someone actually built a real life like lightsaber.
Yeah, dude. There's
They have like the little colored rocks,
gems.
gems,
Kyber crystals.
kyber crystals. There we go.
Dude, they've got like a build your own droid station. They've got restaurants. They've got the cantinas. They've got a full size Millennium Falcon. Like it looks really impressive. I'm really excited to go to. I thought I'd never say this, but I'm kind of excited to go to Disney next time.
I'm going to Disney World.
Yeah, no, dude, I love Star Wars, and you know it. It's not something that I hide. I love Star Wars. It's one of my favorite.
Zelda.
I do love Zelda. It is the best. But yeah, man, that thing is really cool. If you ever come down to Florida or California or wherever it is, I think it's here in Florida, visit Galaxy's Edge and nothing else. Leave. It is so hot here. Don't come to Florida. It is the worst. It is
But
so
is
hot.
California like really, really humid hot?
No, California kind of. Well, it depends on where you go in California.
Yeah.
California's a big state. Yeah. All right.
And that's about it, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If there's anything specific that you want us to talk about, or anything that you want us to address, let us know in the comment section below.
Did we forget something? Mention it.
Yeah. Also, what do you think? Remember, this is a conversation. We want to know what you guys think. Like I said, I read every comment that gets put down on the videos.
I don't.
Yeah, I read every comment. I want to know what you guys are thinking, what that conversation is. So let us know. My name is Teagle.
My name's John.
And we're out.